Yo, and welcome to installment 2 of I Was There. Because I was. I was there, installment 2. We're going to get right to it. This is called The Ghost and the Bottle. The Ghost and the Bottle, and this story takes place in Chicago, Illinois, summer of 1995. The purple tape had just been dropped. If any of you know what the purple tape is, it's Raekwon the Chef's fantastic historical hip hop banger, only built for Cuban links. It had just been released, and at this time in Chicago, we had a radio station called 106.3. I think it's still here, but it played a lot of hip hop back then. I don't know if it plays the same amount of hip hop right now. But back then, it played a lot of hip hop. And Tone B. Nimble was one of the DJs there. And so 106.3 threw a concert at the NAACP building in Hyde Park in Chicago. And it had King Just and Ghostface Killer and Raekwon the Chef was the performers. So I don't know. I'll give you a little bit of background on Tone B. Nimble real quick. Tone B. Nimble was a DJ from a crew called All Natural. The group was called All Natural. Him and Capital D, one of the coldest groups to come out of Chicago, Illinois. And Tone B. Nimble was the DJ that first put me on the radio. 106 Jams. He called me and the MC from HF in that area. His name was Ajax. And he had me and Ajax on his mix series where he mixed songs. And I never forget him telling me, because back then I was known as the freestyle king, and he was like, Vice, come over here with a written rhyme, don't do any freestyles. You know what I'm saying? I'm hard-headed, though. I went over there freestyling anyway. But he was the first DJ that put me on 106. So I was cool with Tone B. Nimble, and Tone B. Nimble was also one of the first DJs to pull me to the side when he saw me freestyling and give me a little bit of advice. And I took that advice to this day. So I was cool with Tone B, and so we get to the venue. I should have known that night was going to be eventful, because when we pulled up, I'm not gonna say who, but there was a very well-known DJ who had broke up with another female MC, and I believe the story went that the female MC that he broke up with ran into him and his brand new girlfriend, and it didn't go well. I'm not going to say the name of who did it, but didn't go well. So we're laughing about that shit going inside of the venue. We like, oh, what the fuck? Are you serious? She beat her up? Oh, my God. So, crazy. So we get inside the venue, man, and the venue was packed. It was my first time ever being at NAACP. It was packed. So while we were waiting for the acts to start, Twilight Tone, big up to my big brother Twilight Tone. Twilight Tone goes up on stage to play some music before the show starts. And towards the end of his set, he points out in the crowd to me, Dirty MF. I'm trying to think what other MCs he called up on stage. But he called us up on stage. I totally remember, and Clutch Cargo. I totally remember me, Clutch, Tony Baines, and Dirty MF being on stage. So we up on stage, we freestyling, we killing it. The crowd going wild, woo, 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 woo. So we kill it enough that King Just lets us stay on stage with his set, during his set. Now, if any of you don't know who King Just is, King Just was a guy that was part of the Wu-Tang crew, part of the clan, and he had a song called Hey Y'all, Hey Y'all, Hey Y'all, Hey. This is the rev of the big beat. It was something like that, big beat, but it was a cold hit. If anybody knows the name of the song, put it in the comments, because I forgot the name. It slips my mind right now, but he let us stay on stage while his set was going on, which was super cool. And I remember me and Baines was on stage watching him perform, and looked over to our left, and in the left there was a bunch of niggas from the clan, all black, and they had these bags. And we were like, what the fuck is in them bags? And I remember Tony saying, how the fuck did they get those bags in the venue? And I'm like, how the fuck did they get those bags to Chicago? Because we're just wondering what was inside the bag. Like, what the fuck is inside these bags? So King just does his thing, kills it. So now there's a little time before Ghostface and Raekwon go on stage. And I believe that the crowd, they were taking too long for the crowd. And from what we heard throughout the street talk was that, I don't know if this is true, but if you're from Chicago, then you know that the area where the NAACP is, that is Blackstone, a Stone area. That's where the moles be. And I believe that someone said there was BDs there, and they came because they were Wu-Tang security. Don't know if that's true. But for whatever reason, while waiting for Ghostface and Ray to come on stage, they getting antsy a little bit. The crowd like, yo, man, what the fuck? They getting antsy. Real, they ready. What's going on? So they're throwing stuff. They start throwing stuff on the stage. Just a little bit here, something there, something there. We like, oh man. They like, look, man, they not gonna come on stage. They get on the microphone and say, not gonna come on stage if y'all are throwing shit on stage. Stop throwing stuff on stage. So the crowd cools down a little bit and the music comes on. And the first song that Ghost and Ray come out to is Criminology. If you know Criminology, you know dun, 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 and they come out, Ray come out, Julio Iglesias, nigga. First of all, son, they going. But while they're rhyming, this nigga still throwing shit up on stage. So Ray rhyming, he ducking and dodging shit, and we like, these niggas are still throwing shit on stage. Ghost time to rhyme now. Ghost rhyming. And Ghost has a towel over his shoulder. He has the microphone in one hand and he has a Heineken in the other. And Ghostface is rhyming up on stage. You know how Ghost be moving. And somebody threw something and it just missed Ghost. And while rhyming, in his rhyme movements, Ghostface throws the Heineken bottle in the crowd while rhyming. We looking to see who got hit with the bottle, because somebody got hit with that bottle. We look and there's a dude in the front and he's like this. It goes like it wasn't me. Ghost still rapping. And threw him the towel. Ghost threw him the towel that was on his shoulder. Threw him the towel. We was like, so now the crowd are getting a little bit more. They start throwing more stuff. No. So they didn't even finish their song. They didn't finish their set. They get off the stage. They go on the side. They're like, look, man, we ain't going out there if the motherfuckers throwing shit like that. We need our motherfucking money now. And we were standing on the side of the stage. Me, Tony Baines, Dirty MF, Clutch Cargo, it was a couple of more of us. And we hear what's going on backstage. We like, it's time for us to tiptoe away from here. Because now the lights are coming on and people leaving, they mad because the show wasn't finished, you know what I'm saying? And Ghost and them like, man, we're not going out there, you know what I'm saying? But you still got to pay us. And yeah, man, that was not a good night for 106 Jams that night. I think they had to come out of a lot of money, some extra paper for the situation, man, and it didn't look good for Tone B. I don't know if that's what they let him go for, but a couple of weeks later, man, they let Tone B number go for that. I don't know if that's what it was for, but I remember right after that little bit, Tone had got let go. But yeah, man, that was a crazy night, you know what I'm saying? Because everything was going cool, man. I'm backstage, I'm chilling, I got cool with Ghost. We chill. It was such a chill last night, man, but I will never forget that. And it taught me something, watching that, how Ghostface and Raekwon were still able to perform under those under that pressure, under those circumstances. And they were deep. So that's why Ghostface felt, Ghost probably ghost anyway. Ghost probably went through the bottle any damn way in anybody, but they was deep, man. And I remember back then, in my mind, I wasn't even thinking about tour buses. I was like, how'd they get these bags here on the airplane? But of course they took a tour bus there, but they was deep, man. Wu was deep, and they had security, so they wasn't worried about nothing. They wasn't worried about anything, man. But it almost went down at Hyde Park that night because they was pissed off. They was pissed off, and they were supposed to be, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I never seen nothing like that before in my life, man. Ghost was moving and just threw the bottle in mid-movement, like, wow, the ghost on the bottle, man. Crazy. I was there. Summer of 1995, Chicago, Illinois. I was there, bro. So that's this installment for I Was There. Stay tuned. I have the next one for you next week. Part 3 of I Was There. Peace.